Hello, CA warriors. How are you all doing? Friends, today we are going to start with a very interesting topic. But, friends, before that, remember the goal of this video is not to go deep into every single concept, but to give you a crisp, exam oriented summary so that you know what is important and how to remember it smartly. This book and video together will act as your perfect self study partner. And I'm super confident, guys, that after this revision, you will be able to solve any MCQ that come your way in the exam. So let's begin this rapid fire revision session. And yes, if you find these notes helpful, don't forget to share them with your friends. Before we move ahead, let me ask you one straight question, guys. If international trade is about free exchange, then why does the government interfere at the border? Why does government say you can import but only after paying a duty? Now, why the what is the answer? So the answer lies in a chapter unit 2 trade instrument policies. Oh, trade policy instruments. Yes. And the most powerful instrument among them is actually a part A, tariff policy. By the end of this lecture, you will clearly understand what tariff actually is, why government imposed tariff, how different types of tariffs are calculated, and how tariffs can both protect and distort trade. Yo, remember guys, tariff is not just a tax, it is a policy decision. Oh, so now let's begin with the basic. Now, student usually ask, what is tariff and what is custom duty? So tariff and custom duty is one and the same. Friends, tariff simply means now, guys, a tariff simply means a financial charge in the form of taxes and duties imposed by the government on goods and services when they are imported or exported. Oh, in a very simple words, the moment a goods crosses the border, the government charge a fee. That fee is called tariff. Now, the important observation in practice is import duties are more common. Export duties are used much less. Export duties are actually charged very less because guys, government usually want to control import and protect domestic producers. Yes. Now, and they want to they want to actually promote the exports. So, how the natural question is, why does government impose tariff at all? Why they impose the tariff? Guys, there are two main objectives. The first objective is now for foreign goods to protect domestic industries. Now, the first objective is to protect domestic industries. Now, guys, foreign goods often enter at a country at a very low prices. Now, at a country means you understand this whole chapter from India point of view. So foreign products, they are very well developed countries. They send goods to India, but are at a very low prices. And the better quality, low price as well as better quality. So if no tariff is imposed, domestic industries cannot compete with them, and industries may suffer. So local producers may shut down. So the government imposed tariff to make import goods costlier. So the purpose of tariff is to make imported goods costlier. This is the main objective. Give domestic industries a price advantage, and this is called import competing protection. Oh, the first objective, hope you understood. The second objective, obviously, revenue for the government. Tariff are also a source of government revenue. Every time goods are imported, duty is collected. That duty goes into government funds. So tariff protect industries and generate income. Oh, so guys, I can say that tariff protect domestic industries and it is a revenue for the government. Hope you understood what a tariff is. So now we move to the important part of this chapter. Tariff are not at all calculated in the same way. They are different methods of computation. We will go one by one clearly, and that is called forms of import tariffs. Now, the first group of tariff is based on manner of computation. In this, you will going to understand how import duty, or I can say import tariff, is calculated. The first and the very basic tariff is ad valorem tariff. Friends, an ad valorem tariff is a tariff levied as a percentage of the value of imported goods. The word ad valorem literally means according to the value. Oh, how it works? Let us understand. Suppose the duty rate is 10% and the value of bicycle imported in India is 10,000. So 10,000, 10% of 10,000 is 1,000 rupees will be the duty. And if the bicycle is 15,000, then the import duty will be 1,500. Okay, because ad valorem ad valorem tariff is charged on the value of the goods. So as the value increases, the duty also increases. So I can say that there is a direct relationship. Ad valorem tariff have a direct relationship with the price hikes. Oh, very logical tariff on percentage basis. Now, percentage on the value of the product, but there is one problem with ad valorem tariff. Because duty depends on value, importers to evade the tariff, importer may undervalue the goods and they may show lower prices to reduce the duty. For example, if any importer is importing 1 lakh rupees goods, so 1 lakh rupees 10% duty may be 10,000. So what they will going to do, they will going to purchase from the foreign countries 1 lakh rupees product, but billing will be undervalued. They will going to tell to the exporter, send it for at 50,000 rupees. They will make payment 1 lakh only, but 50,000, so the duty can be saved. Oh, so undervaluation is the major problem, one of the only problem of ad valorem tariff. Fine. Then next comes to the specific tariff. Now let us see completely different method, that is specific tariff. A specific tariff is levied per unit basis of the measurement, such as, means it is not percentage basis, it is a quantity basis. It is based on per kg, per liter, or per unit. Here value doesn't matter. Value of the good doesn't matter. How it works? Suppose specific tariff is rupees 1,000 per bicycle. Now, whether the bicycle cost is 10,000 or 15,000, the duty will be remain 1,000 per unit only. Oh, so the main key feature of this is duty is the same irrespective of the price. It never changes with the price hike. Hence, it has inverse relationship with the price hike, because as the price will increase, the duty amount is fixed, the percentage will going to goes down. So government faces fewer valuation problems here. So your valuation problem is solved because of specified tariff. Okay, so ad valorem is charged on percentage basis. Specific tariff is charged on quantity basis. Wow. Next is compound tariff. Now compound tariff and mixed tariff is actually derived from the both. Compound tariff means let us combine the two. Means compound tariff is a combination of ad valorem tariff and specific tariff. Both are charged together. So the formula is tariff amount is equal to TA. TA stands for ad valorem tariff. It is charged on value. So P into Q, price into quantity, value, plus TSQ. TS means specific tariff into quantity. Here price doesn't matter. So both the things will be charged. Yes. For example, suppose duty on cheese. If cheese has been imported in India, now duty on cheese will be 5% plus 5% means ad valorem basis plus 100 rupees per kilogram will also be there. Both the things are charged. Both components are added to calculate total duty. Oh, this is called compound tariff. Next is mixed tariff. Now come to the protective method. Now in this case, duty is calculated under both method, ad valorem as well as specific, and whichever duty is higher will be charged. Oh, yes. So ad valorem, percentage basis, specific duty, amount basis, whichever is higher duty will be charged. So both will be calculated. For example, if 5 units bike of bicycles are valued at 1 lakh, so 10% ad valorem duty will be 10,000 and specific duty, for example, let us assume 500 rupees per bicycle. So the total duty will be 2,500, 500 rupees per bicycle into 5 units. So whichever is higher, ad valorem. So 10,000 will be charged. So here government are not affected due to undervaluation also. Oh, advantages prevent revenue loss due to undervaluation and protect government's income in mixed tariff. Wow. Next is technical tariff. Now, what is technical tariff? Guys, you might be knowing there are so many goods who are made up of mixture of varieties of goods. Means two to three things are combined to make one product. So on a single product, they will not going to charge. They will going to charge different tariff on a different part of the product. Now here duty is calculated on the components of imported items. Yes, separate duty rate may be applied on each component. Oh, let's take an example. Suppose you are importing solar panel with a battery. So on solar panel and battery, both are same goods because both need together, then only that product can be used. But on solar panel, government may charge you 3,000 rupees duty plus, and battery can be charged on 50 rupees per kg. Oh, so on battery a different charge, and on a solar panel a different import duty may be charged. This is called technical tariff. Okay. Next is tariff rate quota. Now let's move into a policy based tariff. It is actually a policy based tariff. Now, meaning TRU combines quota and tariff. It is a combination of quota and tariff. How it works? Import, guys, quota has been fixed in India. Import up to a specified limit of quantity, low or nil rate will be charged. For example, in India, batteries are getting imported. So government have restricted the quantity. In the entire year, India will import only 50,000 batteries or 5 lakh batteries from US. So up till 5 lakh quantity of import of battery, no duty will be charged. It's a quota, 5 lakh quota. But if batteries are imported more than 5 lakh, then higher rate of tariff will be import charged. Okay, so import up to specified limit, low tariff. Import beyond that tariff, high tariff. The purpose of this tariff is it allow limited imports and protect domestic producers. So limited imports allowed cheaply and excess import discouraged heavily. Now let's get into the second part, that is again some tariff which is based on intention to levy. The first one was actually it was a computation base, and now the second one is now it is tariff based on intention to levy. Now what are the intentions? We're going to focus on the intentions over here. The first tariff is variable tariff. Now a variable tariff is fixed in such a way that the price of imported goods become equivalent to the domestic price in the home country. What do you mean by this? Guys, the purpose of this variable tariff is very simple, to protect the domestic industries. How come? Now, let us understand. For example, in India, domestic manufacturer is selling a pen for rupees 20 rupees. For rupees 20. Now, US based company who is importing, bringing goods in India at the same quality pen and a better quality pen at a rupees 10. So can I say the foreign product will going to dominate the Indian market and the domestic producers will going to face the competition? So what government will going to do? Now government will going to apply variable tariff. Variable tariff will going to be, he will going to charge an import duty of 10 rupees to make the equivalent price in the market of that imported pen, and said the competition will become a very healthy competition. This is called variable tariff. Next tariff is prohibition tariff. Prohibition, the name itself indicates that, now name itself indicates it is we are restricting something. Okay, now a prohibition tariff is set so high that no import will enter, that import do not enter at all. Means this tariff is launched by the government of India now with an intention to ban some products in India. Ban means now they don't want to bring that products in India to ban the imports. Okay, that at that time prohibition tariff is used. Next is escalated tariff. Now escalated tariff, it is very extremely important concept, guys. Now under an escalated tariff, now on a different level escalation, higher tax rates has been charged. How come? See, duty rates on raw materials, semi-processed goods and final products are progressively higher. For example, on raw material, if we are importing raw material, government is going to charge 5% import duty. Now, that is for example steel and rubber. Then if we are importing semi-finished goods, then the import duty will be higher because value addition done in the raw material, so import duty will be 10%. For example, bicycle frames and tires, which is made up of steel and rubber. And if we are importing finished goods, for example, bicycles, then 15% import duty will going to be charged. Oh, now what will the impact of this escalated tariff? The intention is purely to ensure the protection of domestic industries who produce actually raw material in the home country. Now, but forces developing countries to export on raw material and prevent value addition in those countries. This tariff is basically used when government don't want now finished goods to be get imported from the particular country. We are compelling them just to import the raw material and manufacturing will be done in the domestic industry. Now, this is how the escalated tariff is charged. Now, let's shift to the third type of tariff. The tariff is also based on response to trade distortion. Means now we will going to learn the further tariffs which government levy when they feel that foreign competitors want to distort the trade in the domestic country and they want to control the market of the country. Oh, that is called dumping. Now, sometimes these are also called trigger price mechanism. Now you will going to say, what is dumping actually? So friends, dumping means dumping occurs when foreign seller sell goods less than full average cost or less than a domestic price. It is called dumping. Means a foreign country is selling goods in India less than the cost of manufacturing. Means foreign countries are suffering losses, then too they are selling goods to the India. Now here the intention is not to do the business. Here the intention is to control the market and give a tough competition badly affect to the domestic industries. That is called dumping. Oh, now, so here they have some malicious intentions now to damage the market of the country. So to overcome that, to restrict that, domestic country who is importing goods, he can use two types of duty, that is anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty. These two duties are charged to stop to stop the dumpings in India and to protect the domestic industry. But first you should understand due to dumping, what effect will be there? So guys, effect of dumpings are they harm local producers, create they are trying to create monopoly in the country, in the domestic country, foreign products. Now lead to international price discrimination and promote excessive consumption of foreign goods. Foreign country want in India that people should depend now on foreign goods. Oh, which affect the national interest because if we will be highly dependent, if our public will start consuming foreign goods, our economy may depend on the foreign country. Oh, so to stop them, the first type of duty is anti-dumping duty. Guys, an anti-dumping duty is a protectionist tariff imposed when imports are sold at unfairly low prices. Now, yes, anti-dumping duty, the name itself indicates to stop the dumpings but are made by the foreign country. Okay, it is triggered unfair pricing strategy. It is triggered unfair pricing strategy. Now, how come? Now, guys, it's very simple. Let's take for example, let's understand for example. Now, in India, pen is sold by domestic industry at 20 rupees. An US based company who is importing pen, who is selling pen in India, now even his cost price is actually 10, and he should also sell in at 10 rupees. But what government do? He sell at 11 rupees. He sell at 8 rupees. Means it is below the cost price. When the cost of manufacturing is 10 and he's selling, US based company selling in India at 8 rupees, means what are the intention? To do a business, to enjoy the profit? No, to compete with the domestic industries. Right? So what government will going to do? Indian government, to protect their own Indian businesses, now they will charge over here anti-dumping duty, ADD. Now how much? 12 rupees, or might be more than 12 rupees, so that when it comes into the market, the cost either become equal to the domestic company, or might be become costlier. They can charge 20 rupees also and make it 28, and give the favorism to the domestic industry. This is called anti-dumping duty. Okay, next is countervailing duty. Now, countervailing duty is imposed to neutralize the subsidies given by the foreign companies to the exporting companies. Now, CVD is triggered by unfair government subsidies. Here, the foreign companies' government want to capture the market of the domestic country. Now, guys, then here also countervailing duty is given to neutralize the subsidies. Now, this is the most important part, neutralize the subsidies. See, CVD is triggered to negate unfair government subsidies of exporting countries. Now, what does this means? Now, listen. Here, company don't want to sell below cost price, but government, foreign countries, foreign government now compel or convince to the foreign companies now to sell in India at a lowest price. Now, for example, let us understand. Again, I'm taking similar example. For example, domestic company in India selling pen at 20 rupees. Am I correct? Now, US based company who is also selling pen, his cost of manufacturing is, for example, 10. His profit margin will be 10. Now, they are also willing in the India to sell their pen at 20 rupees only. But US government says to the company, now sell the goods not at 20, sell the goods at 12 rupees. Now, but US company will going to say, why I'm going to sell and make incur the losses? Now, over there, US government gives a subsidies to their own companies. They, this is loss bared by US government. US government is going to tell to their company, we will be going to bear the loss. Now this is called subsidy given by the government, and they convince to their companies to sell in India this pen at 12 rupees, so that the domestic industry should be get affected. Now what Indian government do, importing countries, now they know the intention of the government to neutralize this subsidy. They will going to add CVD of rupees 8. Now import duty. So again it will become 20. So what would happen? The subsidies given by the foreign government of 8 rupees was nullified, neutralized by the Indian government charge tariff, that is called CVD, countervailing duty. Okay. Hope you got it. Yes, sir. Now two tariffs are anti-dumping tariff, that is ADD and CVD. Now you will be get confused, sir, what is the difference but between ADD and CVD? Now understand, ADD is charged to protect from unfair pricing. This is the basic difference. And CVD is charged to protect from unfair subsidies. One is to protect unfair pricing, another one is to protect unfair subsidies. Now, okay, this is the one line difference. Now come to the fourth part, based on the agreement arrangements. Oh, now understand. These are the import duties which is charged between two countries after agreement between the two countries. Okay, so here the intention in the fourth category is not to distort the domestic market, is not to affect the domestic country. Now, here the purely intention is to support one country, now all the member countries with each other, and join development and join business profits. Means here healthy business has been done. So come, let's understand one point. The first is MFN, most favored nation. The first part is most favored nation. Now these are the terms which you will going to study in uh, WTO also. Most favored nation, MFN tariff are normally non-discriminatory tariff. Now, what do you mean by most favored nation? Now, most favored nation agreement is nothing but that you cannot do discrimination between the member countries. First, you have to understand WTO. There is one organization called the World Trade Organization. That is the next part of our chapter. World Trade Organization now has many members. So WTO have came with most favored nation that one member country cannot do discrimination between other member countries. Okay, so this is called non-discriminatory tariff. Charge on import from other member countries also to prevent discrimination and favoritism. Okay, to stop favoritism, this concept is there. So MFN tariff actually is a normal and non-discriminatory tariff applied only to WTO members only and prevent favoritism. It is used to prevent favoritism. Now, for example, WTO there are, for example, three members. India is a member, Sri Lanka is a member, US is a member. Okay. Now what US is doing now, in WTO there is a China is also a member. So let's take India, China, US. So what US is doing, we all three are the members. US is selling some pens, some products to India at 10%, 2% import duty. Okay. And when the same pen US is selling to China, now he is charging. Now, for example, when China is giving goods to US, now he's charging 10%. So can I say US is favoring to the India? Now, MFN tariff says that WTO says that when all you are the three are the members of WTO, if US is importing goods from India, they charge us 2% tariff. Then if they will going to import same goods from China, they have to charge for Chinese goods also only 2%. Don't do the discrimination. Oh, hope you got it. Yes. So some countries imposes higher tariff than MFN rate for import from non-WTO countries. Yes. Now you can charge higher tariff to non-WTO members, but you have to charge same tariff to all the WTO members. No discrimination should be done. Okay, so MFN rates are always higher than the preferential tariff. What is preferential tariff? I'll explain you now, but hope you understood MFN. Yes, preferential tariff. The objective of preferential tariff is applied under trade agreements. Now understand, preferential tariff is generally lower than MFN. MFN is the maximum. Preferential tariff is derived from the MFN. Now is charged on imports from other member countries for preferential trade agreement. Now, under preferential trade agreement, sometime the tariff may be zero also or no tariff. Freely goods are entered into the market. Means it's called preference. Now, for example, China and US and India have signed a more favored nation tariff. US have told to the India whatever goods India will going to send to US, they will going to charge maximum 10% import duty. So this agreement has been done between US and India, right? So whatever India will going to export goods to US will going to charge 10%. Now preferential tariff is means what is actually charged. Now this is the max. US can charge lesser than 10, but he cannot charge more than 10. Okay, so US have started charging on Indian import 2%. It's called preferential tariff. Means US is giving a preference to the India. They want to purchase goods from India and US want to, that's why they have charged lesser than MFN rate. Okay. Sometime US require goods and he want to give preference to the Indian products. He may charge 0% also. Okay. So preferential tariff will be always lesser than MFN tariff. Next is bound tariff. Guys. Bound tariff is a maximum tariff a country commit to charge to other WTO member. Okay. Now. This is under WTO member countries. bind itself with a legal commitments not to increase tariff rate. Now, this is bound tariff means one country, one member country of WTO is signing a writing agreement or giving a legal commitment that how much maximum tariff they will going to charge. Means they are entering into an agreement. Okay, so then what is the difference between MF and NAR? Guys, in MFM, we are not giving legal commitment. It is by default applicable among all the member countries. Okay, but here you are now getting into the agreement uh, from specifically from between two countries. Okay, beyond an agreed level, they cannot impose the tariff. Once any one country have committed to the another country that we are committed that we're going to charge you maximum 20%. Now they are legally bounded, they cannot charge more than 20%. Of course they can charge less than 20%. Once bound tariff can be changed. Now if after getting into the agreement, company one country want to change the bound tariff, that can be done only after negotiation. Yes, after negotiation they can change it. Means again they have to sit on the table, they have to discuss the things, and then now they can change the bound tariff. Otherwise they are legally committed to bind it. That's what's called bounded. Oh, guys, bound tariff ensure actually transparency and predictability. The confidence on one member country on another between the member countries increases due to bound tariff. Now, because they are sure now beyond this import duty will not be charged to them. Next is applied tariff. Applied tariff has been derived from bound tariff. Bound tariff is a tariff which is agreed between two countries, but it is not actually charged. And this is the maximum. Applied tariff is the actual duty charged on imports from MFN status country as per the agreement of bound tariff. Of course, applied tariff will be always low than the bound tariff because bound tariff is maximum. So applied tariff means actually charged and bound tariff means now we have agreed. Okay. Now, so these were the four categories of tariffs having a different intentions. Am I correct? Based on the agreements, based on to stop dumping, intentions to levy, now, and actual real calculations. Means I can say that the real calculations of tariff is actually ad valorem and specific. Rest everything is derived and depends on the situations and intentions. Am I correct? Hope you got it. Now the last part, what is import subsidy? It is totally opposite of tariff. Now, import subsidy is also called negative tariff. Means here importing country, domestic country is not charging a tax on the imported goods. Actually, they are giving subsidies. Okay. Now, why import subsidies are given? Guys, when government himself need that book good should be imported. Now, instead of charging tax, they will allow tax free or they will going to give the subsidies. So understand import subsidy. A import subsidy is a negative tariff. The the importing government pays a part of import cost. Yes, that is called import subsidies. Government bear these subsidies, government bear the cost when goods are scarce domestically. Of course, import subsidies are given only when the scarcity of that particular goods arise in the country and government is desperate to bring that goods from any foreign country in India. Now, example I can take. For example, in India there is a high demand of solar panels. Okay, in India there is a high demand of solar panels. So the import duty is normally charged 20%. Import subsidy means now, for example, government is selling to the all the solar panel domestic companies ki please import from US. So if the cost of solar panel is 10 lakh, what the government will going to do? They will going to induce to the companies to import solar panel at 8 lakh rupees. So how come? Means government will going to pay difference of 2 lakh now, and in India that solar panel will become cheaper for 8 lakh because here government want that solar panel should be get imported in the country. So instead of charging the tax, government is bearing the cost. So even if US companies are selling to India the solar panel at 10 lakh rupees, it will be available in the market for 8 lakh because the gap of 2 lakh that is called subsidy given by the government. This is the cost bear by the government. So that goods will be cheaply available in the market for the public. Oh, so import subsidies means government is bearing the cost instead of charging the taxes. It is a loss to the government. That's what's called negative tariff. Guys, hope you understood this entire unit tariff. Very interesting concept it was. Now, finally, I can say that guys, tariff do not stop trade actually. They shape the trade. Am I correct? It is a strategy, it is a policy to understand the intentions of the exporting countries and protect our people, our country, right? And our domestic industries. Hope you understood this concept. Till now, whenever we spoke about restricting trade, one word kept coming again and again. That is tariff. Guys, a tax at a border, clearly visible, easy to identify. But let me ask you one deeper question, guys. What if a country says, I will not increase tariff, but still I don't want too many imports. Can it do that? The answer is yes. And that is exactly where non tariff measures part B come into the existence. Yes, part A was tariff measures, which was a taxes on the border, and now we will going to learn how to restrict imports without imposing taxes. That is non-tariff measures. Guys, these measures do not look like taxes, do not always violate trade rules, but still control, slow down, and block the trades. Remember this mantra before we begin. Tariff are loud restrictions. Non-tariff measures are silent restrictions. Now let us understand them step by step. The first part is you should understand what is the difference between non-tariff measures and non-tariff barriers. That is NTMs, NTBs. This is the first and the most important clarity point, guys. Now, first let's understand non-tariff measures. So I can say that non-tariff measures are legal policies, rules, regulations under by a country to control or regulate imports and exports. So non-tariff measures are nothing but it's a law, rules and regulations which are made to control or restrict the imports as well as exports. Okay, important reasoning here is NTM are not always meant to block trade, huh? Now, yes. Many NTMs exist for a valid and necessary reason, such as health protection, food safety, environmental protection, national security. Means I can say actually NTM focus on regulatory trade, that is regulatory in nature, and protective only as a side effect. So NTMs now, guys, is nothing but it's a rules and regulations. By imposing rules without taxes, we can slow down or regulate the imports. How? We're going to see in detail. Now let us understand what is non-tariff barriers. Guys, non-tariff barriers are actually a part of non-tariff measures only, but whose main intention is to restrict or block the trade or slowing down the imports. Oh, purpose is clear. To protect domestic industries and reduce foreign competition. Means NTBs are applied actually to restrict the trade, to protect domestic industries. That is why we can say that now all NTBs are actually subset of NTMs. So I can also say that all NTBs are NTMs, but all NTMs, non-tariff measures, are not NTBs. So NTM is actually having a wider scope than NTBs. NTB is actually a part of NTM. So NTMs clearly wider scope and NTB is a subset. So NTB are more protectionist in intention, but NTMs are more regulatory. Hope you got is the difference between NTM and NTBs. Yes. So let's understand the Basic classifications of NTMs. Non-tariff measures. Now, what are the type of non-tariff measures? Non-tariff measures are classified into a technical measures as well as non-technical measures. Guys, technical means I can say it is related to some specific products like their quality, their quantity, their packing, their shape, their size, whether they are hazardous, less pollution, means it is related to product specific properties. Technical measures, color, fragrance, right? Yes. Non-technical measures are related to rules and regulations. They are the trade requirements. So technical measures is imposed on the products, and non-technical measures are nothing but it's a formalities and legal procedure related requirements. And by both technical and non-technical measures, government can restrict the imports. They can control the imports which goods are coming in India from outside countries. Oh, is it? Yes. We will going to understand this one by one, but technical measures and non-technical measures is applied that depends on the intentions. Okay, whether what are the intentions of the exporting countries means foreign countries who are selling goods in India, what are their intentions? Accordingly, technical and non-technical measures are imposed. Sometimes government take hard measures, that is technical measures. Sometimes they found the intention of the exporting countries, foreign countries, they are dumping, then threat measures and some other measures. So it depends on the intentions and the situations. So let us understand first technical measures and then we will going to get into the non-technical measures, guys. Okay, now, so technical barriers to trade, I can say technical measures. Now, technical measures are basically only of two types because it related to the product content. It is related to product content, TBT, technical barrier to trade, and sanitary and phytosanitary measures. First, what is technical barrier to trade and how we can impose, how we can restrict the import over here. So guys, technical barrier to trade are actually rules and regulations that control how a product must be manufactured, how a product must be manufactured, how it must be labeled, and how it must be tested. Means technical barrier to trade is applied on product, or I can say production process before it can be sold in any country. Okay, so why do TBT require actually? TBT require compliance with the mandatory standards and technical regulations which specify size, shape, quantity, quality, etc. Now, this is called technicality of the products. Design, labeling, marketing, packing. Now, functionality, performance, so many things are involved. Now, by applying these all things, they can make import more difficult and they can increase the cost. So if a product does not conform these standards, means importing country who are purchasing, they will going to set the standards. If the standards are there in product, then only we will going to import that goods. We will going to allow that foreign goods in the country. If the standards are not confirmed, these standards, then imported will not, then it cannot be imported. Okay, what is the purpose basically of TBT? Purpose and reasoning is very clear, guys. Purpose is now consumer protection, product quality, and environmental safety. So many countries just for their benefits, now they will going to import, if will not going to keep technical barriers, they will going to they will going to sell in India a harmful products without, with a selfish intentions, without understanding that what negative impact will going to come on the health of the public. So our government have a responsibility to put a technical barrier to trade, and if only healthy products are there, then only they allow to import that goods in our country. So official purpose you came to know. Economic reasoning, simple. Now, but how we will be able to restrict the trade? Guys, simple. Foreign producer face higher compliance cost when they have to meet all these requirements. Now, their cost will increase. Their cost will increase. So domestic producer already meet local standards. So the competition will be fair and domestic industries will be protected. Oh, so import will become less competitive. So simple. All these methods you have to understand how to control the import. These are the import controlling methods. Next is sanitary and phytosanitary measures. What is SPS actually? First you understand the meaning, guys. Now we move to the food and agriculture. Guys, SPS measures are actually rules imposed to protect humans, animals, and plants from a risk arising due to additives, pest, contaminations, toxin, disease causing organism in a food and agriculture products. Now, guys, SPS is talking about the content used in that food. TPT is talking about production process, how that product should be made, what labeling should be done. But SPS is talking about the ingredients of the product. Now, the goods which we are importing, it's a responsibility of the government. They should check how this product has been made. What is how much level of pest, what kind of quality, what kind of content, what of chemical now they have used, whether it is harmful to the human beings, animals, and plants. If yes, then no import should be done. If it is no harmful, then import is allowed. Oh, so what do SPS measures to control? Now, they regulate hygiene standards, guys. Now, SPS is related to regulatory of hygiene standards, quality and safety requirements. They always set the standards to the import and the production process. Okay, these if these standards are not met, imports are actually prohibited. Government is very strict to this. The purpose is very clear, guys. Public health protection, plant and animal safety. Impact high safety standards will slower and costlier the imports. So when government want to restrict the imports, they will always going to increase the level standards of their SPS. So it will increase the cost of the exporting country and the import will be get restricted. Oh, so if I say technical measures, there are only two types of technical measures, TBT and sanitary. All of you understood? Now. But understand what is the difference between technical measures and now we are getting into the non-technical measures. But technical measures, guys, are basically related to the products. Technical measures is applied on the products, production process, the content of the product. Non-technical measures are related to the trade procedures and policies. Now here import will be restricted by rules and regulations. They are not imposing anything on the product. Oh, so let us understand. I have divided so many non-technical measures in some broader categories. The first category depends on the quality and price control measures. Means import is restricted by making changes in the quantity restrictions or by making changes in a prices. Okay, let us understand one by one. The first the first measure, non-technical measure to restrict the import is import quota. Very simple. Import quota means an import quota is a limit, a quantitative limit is set, or I can say a limit is set on quantity of goods or value of goods that can be imported. That can be imported. Now, how import is restricted by setting the quantitative restrictions? Guys, once the quota limit is reached, it's very simple. Reached, further imports will be stopped. Quota means quantitative restriction. For example, now company is importing. Government have allowed to import the car from the Japan. So what they will going to say, 50,000 cars only can be imported from the Japan. So this is the quantity quota has been set. So up till 50,000 cars we are bringing from Japan in India, it is allowed. After 50,000 cars, not even a single car will be allowed to be get imported. It is called import quota. Now, right? Yes. So this is how by imposing a quantitative restriction, imports are restricted. You can take an example. India may impose a quota on sugar imports to protect local farmers and to prevent fall in domestic prices. Yes, import quota, the basic idea is just to you know now save the interest of the domestic producers. That's all. Now, and to control the supply in the market. Okay, classification of quota. What kind of quotas can government impose to restrict the import? So there are approx four types of quotas are there. First is binding quota. Guys, binding quota means it is set actually a below free trade level for imports, enforced through license. Now, enforced through license means government issue the licenses. Only see, government never import the goods. Always in India, businessmen import the goods. So binding quota is nothing but in this government will going to issue the license to some of the sellers. Only they will going to be able to import the goods in India. So those who got the license, only they can import, otherwise they cannot import it. Okay, next is non-binding quota. What is non-binding quota? Set it above free trade level. Now, does not affect trade. It does not affect any trade. Means non-binding quota means no licensing system. Anyone can import, but general limit will be set. Once that limit is over, now import will be get restricted. Absolute quota. Absolute quota means now are a permanent nature that set limit but can be imported at a time during the year or any from the country. Absolute quota means it is a permanent limit. Only that much quantity can be imported and import allowed anytime during the year, but within that set limit. Okay, tariff rate quota. Guys, tariff rate quota is again simple. For example, 50,000 quantity has been set to be get imported from Japan. So up to 50,000 quantity, low tariff or no tariff will be charged. But once beyond this limit, if the goods are exported, high tariff will be charged. Okay, so this is called tariff rate quota. So four types of import quotas are there through which import can be banned. Now, one more concept is there, quota rent. Now, what is this quota rent? Guys. Due to import quota system, now imports are restricted, and because of less import in India, for example, if government restricts some products up to a certain limit in India, now the supply will be restricted and the demand will be more. So what going to happen? You have studied the equilibrium price when import will be restricted. Now supply will be lesser than demand and the prices will shoot up. Means inflation will take place, and due to rise in price, the importer will going to sell their imported goods at a higher price and the profit margin will increase. So due to restriction, when the price increases, the extra profit they are earning is called quota rent. Again I'm repeating. Now, due to quota rent is nothing but it is an extra profit that importer is making when government set quota, because due to a quota supply get restricted and the prices increases, and the importer make extra profit because due to rise in price they sell their same product at a higher prices. Oh, so importer buy at a world prices, sell at a highest domestic prices. This extra profit earned is called actually quota rent. Means profit has been increased due to increase in price because of quota restrictions. Okay, so this is called import quota. After import quota means quantitative restriction, there is one more measure through which import can be restricted, that is price control measure. Guys, normally prices are decided by market forces, means equilibrium, demand and supply combination. But sometimes prices of the goods are not decided by the market, it is fixed by the government. Now, the intention is very clear over here to protect the domestic industries. Guys, see, government fixes the price of the imported goods to support obviously to the domestic prices of the same product. These are called para tariff measures. This is also called para tariff measure as it increases the cost of the import. So when the prices will increase, now importing companies will have to purchase at a very costly prices and the domestic producers interest will be saved. Very fair competition will be taken place. So you understood. Impact will be now due to price fixation by the government, the imported goods will become very expensive and demand for imported goods will fall and the demand for domestic goods will maintain. So guys, best is prices. So price control on imported essential medicines imported from abroad. Sometime if government need it, don't need that product, though they can increase the they can fix the high prices so that import can be restricted. But if suppose government feel that there is a need of that imported goods, so they can reduce the price also. They can fix the lesser prices so that supply can be increased. Okay. Now, basically the prices are fixed by government of India depend on the need of the market. Next is non-automatic license. Guys, what is non-automatic license over here? Due to a license permission, import can be restricted or can be promoted. Certain good require now special permission or permission to import the goods. Guys, there are so many sensitive goods like hazardous chemicals, oil and petrol. Now, that can be imported only by the few companies based on the license. Yes, only license holder can import that particular goods. So import is restricted. So if the permission is hard, so if government want to restrict the import, they raise the level of permission. Permission becomes giving license become procedural, become very difficult. Now, so on due to complete prohibition of imports are controlled. Am I correct? So license procedures are complex and time consuming. Delays discourage imports. Right? Examples: importing of hazardous chemicals in India. Now, am I correct? Import and export of arms and ammunition related materials, etc. These can be imported under licensing ground. Oh, hope you got it. Now, so this was the first part. Import is getting restricted by a quota restriction, restriction on quantity, or by controlling the prices. Am I correct? Next is import can also be get restricted by financial and investment restrictions. Means now these are the methods, these are the non-technical measures on which we are not government is not controlling the quantity and the prices of the goods. They are restricting the import by controlling on the money supply. I can say means foreign currency. Let us understand one by one how they can restrict the control import by financial investment restrictions. First is financial measures. First is financial measures, meaning government control foreign exchange payment for imports. Government control foreign exchange payments for imports. बराबर by controlling foreign exchange. And now you know RBI regulate foreign currency. So what government can do for a few goods which government don't want to get imported in India, they will not going to allow foreign exchange only. So import will get restricted. The importers in India will not be able to make payment outside India. No orders. The import can be actually blocked also. How imported are restricted? Simple. Advance payment requirement they can impose or denial of foreign exchange for certain goods or for certain countries. Government will going to deny. They will not going to allow foreign currency only to provide. Oh, so the best example is restricting a luxury imports. On luxury items, government always have a set limits to provide foreign currency to the importers. Okay, so if they will not going to give you foreign currency only, how will you going to order from the foreign countries? Import will be get restricted. It's very simple. Next is local content requirement. Now, condition. Local content requirement condition means, guys, what is the meaning of this local content requirement? First, you understand the meaning. Government can impose the rules that a certain percentage of final goods to be made using domestic components only. Oh, yes. A rule that requires certain percentage of a final goods to be made using raw material component from a domestic country. Means government will going to make a rule कि if you are importing some products in that some parts or some product, some raw material should be used of indigenous product, Indian domestic product. Oh, how import will be get restricted through this? Guys. Company must include local material in their final products or else they may face restrictions or penalties. Now, those companies who want to import the products, they have to use raw material or certain percentage of goods available in the local. So this will going to give boost, increase the demand of the domestic manufacturers also. Right? Am I correct? Yes. So reasoning is very simple. Domestic industries get assured demand and imports of the components are reduced. Let's take an example for you. The best example will be, for example, government can make a rules that mobile phone manufactured must use 30% parts made in India to sell their phones in Indian market. So if any foreign company want to sell their cell phones in Indian market, so whatever material they're using, 30% material they should use, which is manufactured in India. Then only import is allowed. If they don't do so, imports are restricted. Oh, hope you understood. Very easy notes. Next, now, now you understood this, guys? Yes, sir. So I can say that in local content requirement, firm are allowed to import only up to a fixed percentage of their export earnings, right? Next, government procedures, procurement policies. Government procurement policy, guys. What is the meaning? Government prefer, guys, domestic supplier even if supplier for offer foreign suppliers offer lower prices. Guys, meaning understand government procurement policy, government will going to give a priority to purchase whatever they have requirement. Government is again one of the major consumer in India. So government will going to make a rules whatever things we will going to purchase, we will always going to purchase from a domestic producers only, even though foreign goods are available in India which is completely cheaper, because here government want to support domestic firms. So rules that on what government should purchase from domestic firms and foreign suppliers. So if government prefer local goods, even if foreign suppliers charge lower prices, import will be actually reduced. Am I correct? Yes. Impact, import decline automatically because government is also not purchasing, right? Preference, example, Indian government prefer local technology for defense to purchase over imports. Wow. Government will going to purchase only made in India products, made in India products. So import will going to reduce automatically. Next, third group. Now, import also can be restricted by controlling market and competition rules. So here, government can change the rules which can change the market control or competition levels. So how they can do? First method is measures affecting competition. What kind of measures government can take which can affect competition and domestic producers can be saved? Guys, in this rules will be made, rules that give special rights to certain companies and government agencies to import and sell goods in domestic market. Now, what government will going to do in this? Certain firms or government agencies are given exclusive rights to import or sell the goods. Means in this case, only few companies will be given exclusive rights to import that particular goods in India and sell it in India. So general public or general other companies will not going to get the permission only. So import is get restricted. Okay. Now, so how import is restricted? Government will going to create a monopoly power over here and effect similar to import tariffs. Am I correct? So only specific agencies can only import the goods and sell it in the market. So it will create a monopoly power. The competition will get changed. For example, the best example in India is actually Indian oil and Bharat Petroleum. You know, whatever petroleum consumption we have, data says 80% of the petrol we import, we purchase from the foreign countries, Arab countries. But all the oil companies in India are not allowed to import the oil. Only Indian Oil Corporation and Bharat Petroleum have license to import the oil and sell it to the other companies, so that supply can be controlled over here. Supply can be controlled. Next, next is distribution restriction. Now, in the first method, by giving license, importing permission to few companies, they created a monopoly. So the competition has been changed. Now here, now distribution channel will be get controlled. Means that product should how that product should be get supplied in the market. So when supply get controlled, import will be get restricted. How distribution restrictions can be made? Restrictions on distribution of imported goods through licensing or certification requirement. Means government can come up with a rule that only that companies can sell the goods in the market who have got the license. Oh, so if license oriented supply will going to be there, then not all the Tom, Dick and Harry companies can supply that product in the market. So supply will be get restricted. So imported goods find it difficult to reach consumers and import will be get restricted. For example, a restriction imported fruits may be sold only through outlet having refrigeration facilities. Means government says fruits, imported fruits only sold but by that companies who have proper storing facilities. Means that companies who are the fruit sellers but does not have proper storing capacity, they cannot import only. Okay. Restriction on post sale services. Yes. Again, some rules can be made. See, here now, what I'm saying again, I'm using the word rules. Means importers are restricted by applying rules and regulations only. Restriction on post sale services. What do you mean by this? Guys, here government can impose a rule for providing services after the imported goods are sold in the home country. Means this method will restrict rules that allow only local companies to provide after sale services. Means here what government will going to tell, for example, iPhone, we always import the iPhone manufacturing is not there in India. But what government, why, how he have imposed the restriction? iPhone will be sold by Apple company in India, but whenever the technical problems will going to come in the iPhone, it will that after sale service will be given by one of the Indian company. So to sell if Apple company want to sell that iPhone in India, they have to do a tie-up with one of the Indian company for providing after sale services. So that Indian company should also get business along with imported goods. Oh, so see, rules for providing services after the imported goods are sold in home country, right? Yes. How imports can be restricted? Only local companies are allowed to provide after sale services in importing countries. So foreign companies lose competitiveness and import will be get restricted. And you know one more thing, once this rule has been made, so any foreign company who want to sell goods in India, after selling goods, now after sale service can be provided by only Indian company. So that foreign company first have to make training to the Indian companies ki how you can provide these sale services. So here the fear comes in the foreign company ki if we're going to give them the training, they will be understanding how we are making that products and it can be copied. Oh, so many of the foreign companies will hesitate regarding these tie-ups and they will not going to sell goods in India only. So import will get restricted. Okay. So for example, I can say if any foreign company want to sell washing machine in India, then the government require only Indian company to handle installation and repair work. So that foreign company have to explain how washing machine is installed to one of the Indian companies so that after sale service can be given. Yes, the secrecy will be sacrificed by the foreign companies. Wow, what an indirect methods government have made. Am I correct? Now the next fourth broad category, how import can be restricted by applying administrative and legal procedures. Now listen. If you can see the flow, the first method was technical barrier, understand the link up. Now, import were getting restricted by making difficult the quantity of the products, hazardous chemicals and all. Matlab, me, means we were actually restricting the import, making import difficult by imposing the license. Now, in the second quantitative restriction, quantitative limit has been set and price control to restrict the import. In the second, foreign exchange and monetary control has been set to control the imports. Now, government procurement policy and all. In the third part, market and competition rules. Competitions, licensing system has been bought so that sellers cannot regulate the markets and the import is restricted. Right? Now come to the administrative procedures. Here they are not controlling any quantity, any product, any supply, but they are setting some other rules. First is administrative procedures. Friends, in this, government will restrict the import by making the procedures complicated. Means complicated paperwork, multiple approvals, and time-consuming procedures will impact higher transaction cost and discourage the imports. Oh, right. Means government will going to make a tough procedures to clear the licenses. So if the procedures become tough and time consuming, means earlier government is going to say permission will be allowed in 6 months. So 6 months delayed will take place and it will discourage the imports. Yes. Right? Rules of the origin. Yeah. Guys, this is again one of the best logics. Rules of the origin and very interesting concept. Guys, here government want to determine Rules will be set to determine country of origin of the product. These are the rules to determine where a product was made or where the services provide is from. Impact, certification required, increase complexity and cost. You know why this rule has been made? I'll be taking one basic example, please understand. For example, now China and India. Now India is, for example, banning a Chinese products. Now India don't want that to buy any product from the China, any product manufactured from the China. So India have banned, for example, China products in India. Now that's the same products India started purchasing from Russia. Russia and India are the friendly countries. So they banned China, and the same product which they used to purchase, India used to purchase from China, they banned China market and they started purchasing from Russia. Now China ego got hurted. Now what China will going to do? They cannot directly sell into India. So China will silently open their company in Russia. China will open their company in Russia by investing in Russia. It's a Chinese company, but the face will be a Russian company now because they opened one of the company in Russia. And that company established by China in Russia will going to sell goods to India. Means ultimately you are purchasing goods from China only. Oh, this is how companies are doing. Yes, many cases are there. So indirectly, China won the game because now Indian government is feeling they are purchasing from China only, they are purchasing directly from Russia. But no, that China have opened a company in Russia and the Chinese company is selling from Russia to India. So India become fool. So just to avoid this, Indian government can say we want the goods which is getting imported in India where they are manufactured. We want a certificate where in which country that has been manufactured. So because of rules of origin, this practice will be get restricted. Sir, how come? Now, even though Russian company has been established from China, rules of when certificate of origin will going to come. So even the goods are supplied from Russia, origin certificate will be from China only. We're going to ban that company. Okay. So these are the rules determine where the product was made. We want to know the origin of the product which we are importing or services provide is from. How import get be restricted? Simple. Import duties or limits can be changed based on the country where the product was produced. Needs certification to prove the origin. This will increase the complexity and cost because certifications are required, then only it will be get imported. For you, the best example is car. Car assembled using parts from multiple countries, guys. For example, India is importing a car made in Japan, but different parts of the car come from the different countries because to make one car, thousands of components are required. So it may getting the certificate of the origin more become complicated. Okay, safeguard measures. The next is safeguard. to s- to save our domestic producers. Guys, safeguard measures, temporary restrictions are imposed to protect domestic industries from sudden import surges. Temporary restrictions. Safeguard measures is a temporary restrictions. Now, all of sudden, if the supply increases, import goods are increasing, which damage the domestic kind of manufacturers interest, they will going to ban it for the temporary for 6 months. For example, government going to say now uh, from Japan, let's restrict the goods for 6 months. 6 months, nothing can be imported. Okay, so safeguard measure is actually a temporary restriction to protect local industries. It stop import for a limited time to prevent or harm local businesses. Very simple. So it's like India may temporarily stop steel imports to help local producers. For example, local producers have increased the steel production more. So now restrict the import, otherwise supply will increase and the price will fall. So to protect the industries, for 6 months supply will be restricted of the steel. But it's a temporary restrictions, huh? Embargoes. Next is embargoes. Guys, embargo is not a temporary restriction, it is a complete ban on the goods. It is a total ban on imports. Government have made some negative list of the goods which cannot be imported in India. Yes. Now, because might be there is no political will or health, some countries are blacklisted. means from that country not a single quantity can be imported. So total ban on import for some of the commodities, either some commodities can be restricted or particular country can be restricted. Okay. So if they can ban, total ban, no goods can come from China. No goods we will going to purchase from Pakistan. Boycott Pakistan. It's called embargoes. Either countries are restricted or some certain goods are restricted. Okay, okay, okay. So guys, these are the four broad categories to restrict or to control or to promote the import. Hope you understood these all things. Yes. Now, the last concept, we will going to learn the measures to promote or to control the export related measures. Till now, we were understanding import related measures, how to control the imports. Guys, now we will going to understand how government can control the exports. Exports means domestic industries are selling goods outside India. But you know what? This is very rare. This is less important because all countries always encourage exports. So exports are always encouraged because government earn foreign currency, but always imports are discouraged. But sometime exports can also be get discouraged when there is a shortage of domestic goods in domestic demand also. So let us understand how exports can be restricted or motivated. They are called export related measures. So first is ban on exports. Government can ban some goods on exports. It's like embargoes. In embargoes, import of some goods are banned. But in export, again, it's like an embargo. Some goods cannot be sold from India to outside India. So government stopped the export of specific items to protect domestic supply or for political, environment or security reasons. Some goods cannot be sold outside India because might be that goods are scarce in India in domestic market only. So when our Indian people are not getting satisfied, how come you can sell outside India? You know, only that goods should be exported logically, which is abundance in India. The Indian demands has been satisfied and excess production is there. So you can sell to the outside markets. So government can ban some goods export to protect domestic supply. For example, export ban on exporting onions, wheat, etc. when there is a shortage in the country himself. So normally food items are controlled through exports. Okay, export taxes. Guys. If government want to restrict the exports, if government don't want कि domestic companies from India they sell some goods to the US. So what government will going to do? They will going to put extra taxes. It's like a tariff on exports. Okay, so you can see this export taxes, meaning taxes are imposed on exporting goods. So, but when government will going to impose the taxes on exporting goods, that exporting goods will become costlier in the foreign country and the demand in the foreign market will fall. So export will get restricted. Okay, to discourage export and increase domestic availability. Simple. Now this will increase the domestic supply and discourage exports. So it's like a tariff measure on ad valorem basis or specific basis tax will be imposed. Then export subsidies and incentives. Of course, majorly government never restrict exports. They always encourage exports. So I can say government will not going to charge tax. It is totally opposite of B, export taxes. Now government will going to give a financial assistance to the exporter who actually sell goods outside India to encourage exports. So financial assistance is given to the exporter to reduce their cost and encourage exports. So these are given when government want to encourage exports. Okay, export subsidy, duty drawback, duty free access, many. Now benefits are given monetary and non-monetary to the exporting countries. Their cost get reduces, the profit margin increases, and exporting country export more goods to outside India, and government earn foreign currency. Oh, last, voluntary export restraints. What is voluntary export restraints? VER. Guys, VER is an agreement. It is a voluntary agreement where exporting countries limit exports to avoid stricter action by the importing countries. Guys, it's like quota restriction. Now, But here there is a quota on exporting goods. Means government can impose a rule. For example, Indian government is signing an agreement with US government. So what Indian government will do, it will going to impose a voluntary export restraint key to US. We can sell maximum only 5 lakh tons of wheat. So this is a quota restriction, but on some countries, so that importing countries should not impose any restriction on us. Okay. So understand, India may agree to limited export to a certain steel products to US. So US does not impose strict trade barrier or high tariff on those products. Okay. So guys, these were the export rated measure, which is totally opposite of import, but it is less relevant than the import because majorly government always encourage exports. They don't discourage the exports. Right? So by this, guys, we have completed Unit B non-tariff measures. So remember, non-tariff measures do not look aggressive, but their impact on trade is deeply and powerful, right? To restrict the trades. Hope you understood. So that's it, my dear students. This was your quick revision session. Simple words, clear concept. Now there is no room for confusion. If you understood everything in one go, say yes, sir, and give it one more quick revision. Remember, smart study is the best strategy. Keep revising, stay confident, and believe in your preparation. And don't forget to tell your friends that these notes are total exam lifesaver. Stay consistent, stay motivated, and I will see you in the next rapid fire revision.